is another town, person for person, population wise, that's got as much going on as you do. Let's talk about what's going on in Pelzer here in the last couple months. Then we'll talk about looking ahead. What's been going on here? Y'all got so much building and activity going on.
We do. You know, it's hard to explain the amount of things that have been going on this past year in Pelzer, and what's going to happen. You know, there's some things that are on the horizon. There are some key properties that are about to be purchased for new businesses. I wish I could share with you what those are, but it's going to be something that I think is going to transform the east side of Levy Street. We're going to have 2 of them happen, hopefully within next month, I hope. There's going to be some major developments that are going to be announced for both the upper and the lower mills. That's going to transform both those properties as well.
Tell me what those properties are.
Sure, yeah. The lower mill is the original mill, built directly on the Saluda River with the original dam and the original, the first mill of 4, built around 1881. And then the upper mill, of course, is on the other end of town, and it is not on the river. That site was built away from the river, but connected through electricity. And it is one of the very first mills in the country to be powered over land via an electrical wire and not directly connected to a river. So, of course, that mill is gone, so we have to re-envision what's going to happen with that property. And we've got something really exciting that's going to happen over there soon. And the Pelzer Heritage Commission, which is the owner of both of those properties, will be announcing what that is. And hopefully we'll hear about that this summer. But those are the major things that are going on right now.
Now, is there a museum open again now, or are they open for
a museum?
For the Pelzer?
The Heritage Commission?
Yeah,
they've been talking about wanting a museum, and we would love to have something like that. They have a wealth of information and images, and I believe also some artifacts. But when we restore the old hospital next door for the new town hall, we have reserved a room for the Pelzer Heritage Commission for archives as well. So, you know, keeping our history is very important, and we're really just one generation away from losing it all. So it's going to be very important for us to document who we were, and informing us as to what we're going to be one day as well. I think that everything that we do should be steeped in that history, because that is our identity as Pelzer.
Now, since the last time we talked, there were do you have some new businesses that have opened, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have a brand new business right down here on the corner called the Oak and Anvil, and they are a kind of an antique store with all sorts of interesting finds. You might find some furniture in there, all sorts of things, some artwork even, and check them out. The Oak and Anvil, I believe, is open on the weekends for sure, but it's a brand new business. We had a ribbon cutting for them. Great people, local people, and they have a lot of cool stuff in there, so I'll be checking it out myself when I'm looking for something specific for a future play production, I'm sure.
And you finished the renovations at Town Hall since the last time we talked?
Yes, our town office, we finished.
Town office, yeah.
Because it's not really a hall, it's really just a big room and a small lobby.
Yeah, hall is generous, okay.
People ask me, where's your office? I say, what office? We have a room for everybody. But we did redo the lobby of the town office, and it looks completely different. Beautiful, inviting. We have included things in that lobby space that show our master plan, the illustrations for our master plan, and also images of the old mills as well. So we're always thinking about the past and the future while we're living in the present. So that's very important to us.
Well, and speaking of that, the place where the town council does meet is being really redone. Last time you and I talked, you were still tearing things out. They're starting to build things back now, right?
We have a plan to fully renovate the community building. You are right. We did some tearing up of the inside, the preliminary demolition. They had put up these old, these panel walls that covered up the original beadboard and these giant windows. And the plan for us is to fully renovate that building. You know, it was built prior to, I think, 1913. And originally it was an open air skating rink. But we would like to, we have some money coming in because we did sell the cell tower property, a permanent easement to American Tower, and we're waiting on that money to come in to the tune of $700,000, which we're going to put to smart and good use for the town of Pelzer. And one of our priorities is restoring the community building because it will be a revenue producing asset for the town as a venue for all sorts of activities. It was before, but as you know, it was small and dingy and had no natural light. It was kind of, yeah, it was good enough for being
Closed in, low ceiling.
Yeah, it just wasn't appealing, but we want to open it up again with the tall ceilings. I mean, I had heard the old timers talk about playing basketball in there, and I thought, well, how's that possible? But when we took the drop down ceilings out, you can tell how it was possible because the ceilings are, it's like a cathedral in there. It's beautiful. So we want to restore it to its former glory and let folks enjoy it for what it is, and also add all of the 21st century amenities that we need. We need new bathrooms, handicap accessibility. We're going to have a new kitchen in there, all sorts of fun stuff. So it's going to be perfect for wedding receptions, reunions, maybe some small musical performances, any kind of gathering you could imagine of a medium size. It's going to be great for that. And I've been talking with some architects who are giving me some advice, and we're going to figure out how to get some historic tax credits for that building. And that's going to be a large project, an expensive project, but one that I think ultimately will be of great benefit to Pelzer and its people.
And it's located right at the park there, and y'all have done a lot of upgrades at the park.
We sure have, and it's hard to remember what the monkey park looked like before we started working on it. It was more of a monkey jungle. I mean, it was so grown up you couldn't even see through it. And we had some vagrants who liked to hide over there at day and night, but now they can't anymore because it's all open up and you can see straight through it. And we still have 3 major projects going on in the monkey park. We are doing final tree work, removing dead and dangerous trees and raising the canopy of all trees all over the monkey park, including the field beside Highway 20 and also the hillsides beside Levee. And that, of course, surrounds all on 3 sides of, or most sides of the food line. And so we're doing that, and next we're doing some grading on the hillsides to make them safer, because we do want to put some pathways, some walkways in there one day. And then the final thing is that we're putting up a beautiful new wooden crossbuck fence to mark the boundary of the monkey park. We had no idea where it ended, so we surveyed it, and we're going to put up a beautiful new fence, which will also cut down on some of that traffic of folks walking through people's backyards and such, and some areas that needed a fence for safety reasons, so we don't, you know, roll down a hill. But it's going to be beautiful, and we actually did some research on some historical photos as to what types of fences they used 100 years ago, and you saw a lot of that crossbuck look. And if you don't know what that means, it's a fence or a railing that has an X in it, and you saw that a lot on old gazebos in the park and some of the old houses. So we wanted to do something that kind of rekindled that feeling of we're stepping back in time.
And the park gets a lot of use. You got a covered area out there. And
Yes, we completely redid or you know, did a lot of work to the picnic shelter. It's been cleaned up. It has new lights. It has new paint. It has a new roof. It looks totally different. It's really charming and beautiful. And I have seen 2 things change since we did all this work. You're not seeing the vagrants hang out there at night or in the daytime. It is very well lit at night. I mean, it looks like daytime out there. So it's no longer a place to hide. We've kept it clean, and we're seeing families and children come back and enjoy the park again. And, you know, we have some of those, we have one of those old school slides that, you know, you can't find anymore. It's made out of steel and singes your flesh on a hot day. And it spins around like this and throws you out on the ground. You know, all the really unsafe equipment we all grew up with and became strong by. We've still got them.
Well, you mentioned that we're moving into summer. Are there any vestiges left over of pandemic stuff, and what's going to happen here in the next few months here in the summer in Pelzer?
Oh, I'd love to tell you about that. We've got some citizens who are very active in wanting more events in Pelzer. And so we've got some things planned for the July 4th weekend coming up. We're calling it Freedom Fest. And we're doing some brand new things on July the 3rd, which is a Saturday. We're having a 5K run through the town. We have some old school games like a tug of war and a sack race, like field day games that they used to play back in the day. I really wanted to, you know, catch the greasy pig, but, you know, maybe next year. And then we're going to have a patriotic parade going through West Pelzer and Pelzer that afternoon. And then once we're done with all that, we encourage everybody to go over to our friends in Williamston. They're going to have a car show and a band, and they're going to have a big fireworks show that night on July the 3rd. So I don't know if you know this, but back in the day when the mill was running, there were two main holidays, Christmas and July 4th. And July 4th, the mill shut down for a week, and everybody had the best time in the world. And they had those types of games and competitions, and we would like to bring those back. And so this is the first year that we're trying this out. And the cool thing is that this is run by citizens. An events committee, they're all working together. You know, they've been blowing up my phone on these group texts. But it's all for a lot of good fun and good times. And we'll have some free Pelzer merchandise. There'll be some food trucks and all that fun stuff. And then on July 4th, the light people, otherwise known as the golf cart gang, are having a little fireworks show of their own down on the lower mill. They're partnering with the Pelzer Heritage Commission, and the Pelzer Church of God is going to be providing some free hot dogs. So if you can't find any fireworks on July 4th because it is a Sunday, we're going to be having some in Pelzer at the lower mill. So we've got two big events for the 4th of July, which is one of our favorite holidays, and we hope to expand on that, make it even bigger and better each year. So when you think of 4th of July, you're going to think of Pelzer.
And you mentioned merchandise. How is the rollout of the new logo and stuff going for Pelzer?
Oh, it's so much fun. We've got some t-shirts, we got some hats, we got some flags, and we created some tote bags and frisbees for this event coming up. But it has received a very positive response from the upstate and the community, and we hope to continue doing more. I like to introduce like something new every month. Maybe next month we'll have some mugs, or, you know, who knows. But it's great to have a unified message and a unified look. New signs. We have a new sign for the town office, which uses the same branding and the same colors and the same font. Because folks kept saying, where is this town office? Because the sign was teeny tiny, and one of them was actually stolen. So I said, let's get a big one with the new branding. And we used a local sign company, and we put it up, and it looks great. So the town office really has a different feel to it. We've done some landscaping out front. Of course, the lobby's redone, and we have our brand new town flag flying at the town office, and they are for sale. And I've got one in front of my house, and it's just beautiful. It's a flag that tells a story about our past, present, and future, and I just love it. So it's something to be proud of, and that's what we need. We need to have that same Pelzer pride we had 100 years ago or 50 years ago, but in a new way. You know, people are starting to move here. Young families are moving here all the time. houses that are being renovated, old mill houses being renovated for sale, and they go like that. I mean, they're on the market for maybe days and they're gone. So the housing market is hot in Pelzer.
You got a new construction?
New construction right behind us, a brand new home. And we've not seen construction of a brand new house in Pelzer for a very long time. And that's hard to wrap your mind around. I mean, I live in one of these homes here, and it was built in 1895. So if you think about it, most of these homes all over this town were built in the 1800s. I mean, you don't think about it because now they're updated. They have the vinyl siding, they have a modern look, but you get down to the bones of them, they were really well built, you know. Craftsmen built these homes, and so they were built to last. And so people are discovering that you can buy an affordable home and put some work into it and make it what you want. And they're discovering that we are a bedroom community of Greenville and Anderson. And in today's world, you know, folks are working more mobily. They had to work from home during the pandemic. So I had this conversation with another council member yesterday from Ware Shoals, and we were talking about how, you know, in the future, people can choose where they want to live, and their job will not dictate where they have to be. I mean, you can live on the other side of the world and still do your same job because of technology. So people are going to want that charming, that quaint little southern town, like little old Mayberry, where everyone knows each other and everything's close by. They want that. I know that I want that. That's one of the reasons I moved here, because it reminded me of the good old days. It reminded me of my grandparents, you know, those small southern South Carolina towns that folks grew up in. It's very appealing. And you can always visit the big city of Greenville if you want to.
How's the budget look for this year for the town?
We are having a meeting tonight for our second reading of our budget to pass it. And there are some updates. It's relatively the same. The two major things that are different are that I have asked to increase the salaries of our town employees. I felt like they were not being paid a fair wage, and we want to take care of our town employees. We have a third full-time maintenance position because we have so much public land to take care of in Pelzer, and I feel like that's important for us to take care of our public spaces for our people. But also, you know, you don't want to drive through Pelzer and see tall grass and neglected areas, which we've seen in the past.
You have a lot of green space for
Oh
town
my
this
gosh.
size.
Someone said we're going to be known as the park town one day, because there is so much green space to take care of, but also enjoy. And there's going to be more. You know, Pelzer has 3 miles of riverfront property because it goes up and around and all the way down, right? And of course, the traffic on the river has increased every year. The most recent kayak event, I think, had 300. And we've got our own handicap accessible kayak launch.
Y'all were the first.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. We've done some work down there to put in some benches and clean it up and plant some new things, and it was a big success. But part of the master plan, which I am thrilled to one day see, is a trail system that follows along the river, because most of the riverfront property is owned by either the town of Pelzer, the Pelzer Heritage Commission, and the hydro plant down by the dam. And all three of those groups are interested in seeing that part of the master plan be fully realized. When I have looked at a map of the town, I have drawn out my ideas and vision for where this trail could go, where park spaces could be. And not only could it go around the perimeter, but it could connect the different neighborhoods. We've got opportunities to do that so that people can become more active, they can get outside, they can feel safe on a trail right by the river. I mean, we've seen what the Swamp Rabbit Trail has done for not only Travelers Rest, but all of Greenville County. But imagine if the Swamp Rabbit Trail was right on a river. And that's what I want to see. And to give it our own name so that it's unique to Pelzer. And that's what we're discovering is that, you know, we have uniqueness. We have history. We have buildings and places that nobody else has. And that's what makes us special. You know, I grew up in Powdersville and I love that community, but 153 really looks like it could be anywhere, you know? It's great to have all that business, it really is, but a sense of place is really important to people who want to put down roots and raise a family. Where are you from? I'm from this area that's sort of Greenville, Piedmont, Easley, not really sure. That's how I would have to describe it growing up. But when you say Pelzer, you know exactly what that is. And for me, everything that we do, we have to keep that uniqueness of what makes us special and sets us apart.
And one of the things that set you apart for people who aren't from here, don't know anything else much about Pelzer and Milltown Players. And
yes.
y'all are back. Tell us about that.
I would love to, Greg. Milltown Players. That is my baby. And we have been here now for about 7 years of survival. And we almost died during the pandemic. It was really scary. It came to about January and we had completely run out of money. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do until the South Carolina CARES Act money came through. And it saved us. It really did. And we also took out a disaster loan through the SBA. And there's some more support coming through the Shuttered Venue grant. But the thing is that we've been closed for so long, and it will have been 16 months of nothing. And folks don't realize the way this has hit the theaters across the state, because restaurants were open, other businesses were open, but we were the only business totally closed in Pelzer. But now we are back at it, hard at work, working on the set of our next production, which is going to be a big favorite. It's Steel Magnolias. Everybody loves that movie. They could probably quote the whole thing. And we have a very strong cast of women who are working on that show as we speak. And it's going to be great. It's going to open next month, July 23rd through August the 8th, 3 weekends. And we have kept our same affordable ticket prices. We're not raising anything. We are staying true to who we are, which is affordable and quality live entertainment for the upstate. And we are adding Saturday matinees, because our matinee performances on Sunday at 3 p.m. are our most popular shows. And we surveyed our audiences and said, would you like a matinee on Saturday too? At 3 o'clock, they said, yes, give it to us. So hopefully, if we are to have new restaurants in Pelzer, wink, wink, we will have people coming from all over who can then patronize these new businesses. And that's always been the dream of mine, is to bring these 30,000 plus people per year and have them stay a while and enjoy Pelzer, and not just come for the show and leave afterwards, but say, hey, let's hang out. Let's spend the night somewhere and see what this place is all about. And the biggest thing that folks ask me is, where do you eat around here? Where do you eat around here? And so any restaurant entrepreneurs out there who are looking to open up something that would appeal to thousands of people coming to see a show and who might want to stay afterwards as well, hey, give me a call. We'll find you a place.
And one of the other things people are going to notice that come back in July this year is you've got real air conditioning now.
Oh man, Greg, you have no idea. We have a brand new HVAC system, okay? And it is a godsend because, as you well know, if you came to see one of our hit classic American musicals in July and August, and you sat in the balcony, you had yourself a fan from Gray Mortuary, or you were just sweating because it was hot. We had 5 residential units out back that were installed in 1988, and they were just puttering along on those hot summer days and nights. But now we're good to go. And the other day I stood on the stage, and folks don't realize this, but there were no vents on stage prior to now for actors. And when I was playing Buffalo Bill and Annie Get Your Gun in July and August, I had to wear, long sleeve shirt, thick suede Western jacket, wig, cowboy hat, and I was just dying. We had these little tiny fans, screwed to the wall in the wings. But now I stood on stage the other day and I felt airflow. It was the strangest experience. And so we can also program the balcony differently. It's a different system than the rest of it. So if you're sitting in the balcony, instead of bringing a fan, you might need to bring a jacket because we're going to make it ice cold.
And next time we meet, we'll catch up on more of this, but how many shows are you going to do this year?
This year, we're trying to cram in as much as we can to the rest of this season that was mostly canceled. We're starting off with a concert, which is almost sold out, on July 16. It's a rockabilly band called Honey and the Hot Rods, and it is led by Katie Rockwell, who is Milltown Players' perennial Patsy Cline. And we've sold almost 600 tickets to that already, which shows you how much people are ready to come back and enjoy live entertainment. Following that, of course, is Steel Magnolias, and then our annual Classic Country show, which has always been very popular, of old country standards and a live band that's going to run for a full weekend. And then following that, we have Austin Irby from Honeypath, national Elvis tribute artist, who's going to come do a rock and roll show on a Saturday night in August, and a gospel show following that Sunday afternoon.
Well, you mentioned the citizens that are making all the progress happen. How can they get involved? And I guess you've really ramped up social media and stuff. How can they keep up with what's going on? How can they get involved in what's happening in Pelzer?
Sure. Well, everything we do is on our Facebook page. We are completely redoing our website. We're going to have a brand new website. And so be looking for that. It will be called pelzersc.gov. Also, I'm a great person to contact personally. I love hearing from people. If you have an interest or you want to get involved, I will be glad to connect you with the folks and what they're doing. A community is nothing without its people. And the more people get involved at any level and in any capacity, you will strengthen and create that sense of community. We've become so isolated through the pandemic that we would like to get back in touch and socialize again and see our neighbors. So I think that rising out of this pause in life, so to speak, we're going to cherish those connections even more. And I think that's a good thing. I think we've learned a lot of lessons to be thankful for what you have, and to be thankful for who you have in your life, and to evaluate what it means to be a town, to reevaluate what it means to be a town. And it's not just a government or a place or buildings or streets. It's got to be about the people. And if we have that, then anything's possible.